Lesson 25. Used to. What did you use to do? Veronica, 46 years old, Slovakia. When I was a child, my brother and I used to spend hours playing outside. We used to invent all kinds of games and activities, so it was never boring. We used to race in the garden and compete with each other to see who was the fastest. We were both very competitive, but we didn't used to argue. We loved adventures, so we used to go to the woods behind our house a few times a week. We used to pack snacks and water bottles and disappear in the woods for an hour or two. Our parents worried about us a bit, but we were always careful and protected each other. Every summer, we used to go camping with our Uncle Martin. He used to teach us how to fish and build a campfire. We used to stay up late, sit around the campfire, and tell each other ghost stories. I had such a fun childhood.
Carl, 29 years old, Norway. I used to collect a lot of things as a teenager. CDs, DVDs, posters, comic books, magazines. I was very proud of my collection, and I used to invite my friends to my house after school just to show it to them. I used to lend some of the CDs and DVDs to my best friend Henrik and borrow his favorite books. We both used to read a lot and talk about books a lot. We often disagreed, but we always recommended new books to each other. I don't read as much as I used to, but I still have some of the books that I borrowed from him. I'm sure that he still has some of my CDs too. Henrik and I also used to go to parties together, and we used to smoke for a few months when we were 16. It made us feel like adults, but we quite quickly realized how stupid that was. Being a teenager wasn't always easy, but it definitely was an adventure.
Marie, 53 years old, Austria. When I was in my 20s, I used to live in Barcelona. I used to wake up very early and go to a small cafe called Ruma's. I don't drink coffee anymore, but I used to love starting my mornings with a cup of cappuccino and a fresh, buttery cookie. The waiters and waitresses at the cafe knew my name, and they used to greet me with friendly smiles every time I walked in. In the afternoons, I used to walk around the city a lot. I didn't used to take a bus home because I loved walking slowly and discovering new places every day. On Friday evenings, I used to go to my favorite tapas bar with a small group of friends from work. After a delicious meal, we used to have a drink or two. We always had a lot of fun together. It was almost 30 years ago, but I will never forget my time in Barcelona.